Curtis A reached out to me, said make a theme song for my show. Said alright, just give me all the details, man. And my homie says he don't know. Well, if you're gonna pay me big bucks, cause I might should have something to say. He said, you know what I bring, I'm the customizing king, nothing else matters anyway. So is he gonna have guests? I don't know. Is he gonna go live? I don't know. What time will it be? What will you see? I'm pretty much in the dark, but I can guarantee he'll be customizing action figures, getting paint all on his fingers. It's art by Akerman. It's art by Akerman. Tips and tricks and conversation, sharing his gift with every nation. It's art by Akerman. Art by Akerman. You best get ready, cause now it's time for Art by Akerman.
All right, folks, welcome back to another How'd They Do That? This is the series where I talk to different artists in the community about, what they do for art. It could be style of custom they do, certain paint job. We've done some photography, some dios, all kinds of different stuff. And today we've got a special guest. This is one that's actually been requested by a few of you folks. So if there are artists in the community that haven't been featured on here yet, or maybe you'd like to hear them talk about something different than what they did the first time, hit me up and let me know. But this is one that I heard from a few of you on. And this is Jay Travis, Low Fidelity Customs. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I'm excited to talk to you. I mean, you do some pretty kind of wild color paint jobs that I don't see too much in the community. So excited to get into it.
Yeah, thank you. I can't believe people have been asking for me to be on. This is crazy to me.
Yeah, for sure. And let's just get right into it. I'll pull up the slideshow. So I use this one here, and we'll kind of show this one in a second. But man, some of your paint jobs, like definitely some colors I wouldn't think to use, especially in the combinations that you do. They're just really out there, man. And like it I don't know, for some reason it really works for me. So like this is the one that I picked out for the cover, and I love the way that these wings come out. The head, which I believe is one of those new 12 for 25s from Wolf King Customs. Yeah, dude, you just killed this thing. So can you talk a little bit about this one?
Yeah, sure. So, I knew that I wanted to do that color for the eyes. That's 4D glasses, which is Turbo Dork. And then that has a shift from this sort of like emerald green to a purple, which actually made it very difficult to find a good paint for the body because it sort of clashed with everything. So actually the head was purple and I made it magenta because that is actually my favorite color. And that kind of made it even more difficult. So I wound up doing as a layer of, they have a color that's like a blue to, it's like a green, like a blue green to a green blue shift. If that's, it's a weird description they have, but it's like sort of like a turquoise. And I layered that with the shift that's the opposite. It's hard to see in these pictures, but it doesn't get too close to the eyes. I guess I want the eyes to be brighter. And then I used a really, really ultra saturated pink for the arm cannon. And I love arm cannons. So that's Cloud 9. And the wings were a huge, huge, huge pain because I'm terrible at line work.
The wings are fantastic. Now, is that like a translucent on the wings, or is it just that bright? Like I couldn't tell if there was like light shining through that or if that is just the color you used.
I use a lot of lights when I take pictures. Otherwise you can't see. Turbo Dork's the hardest thing in the world to take pictures of. So I use a ton of lights. So that's kind of part of it, but I used Vallejo ink, the magenta ink, which is actually my new favorite paint. And it goes on in a way that, I mean, it just looks naturally like that, I guess. I don't know. It came out. I was really happy with the way that color landed on that.
So we've got 3 different sets of sexy and wings. Which ones were those to start with?
It was the one that came with this figure that came with the head.
Okay. So that would be the prison guard, right? Or was it the Black Commander? Was it the brown one or the blue one?
It's the brown one.
The brown. Okay. So, oh wow. Yeah, cuz see, I got my Sphexians next to me, and I've got the mine worker here, and his kind of start out kind of pink.
Yeah.
But
And that
it's
would have
not
been
near as bright and vibrant as the one that you got.
it would have
So,
been good to do that though, because I do have an extra set of those wings, but I
ah.
forgot.
Oh, this
So
thing came out awesome, man. I love the use of colors. I think that there's a tendency for people, they see this, and even though it's an alien, they kind of think bug. And I think there's a tendency for people to do a lot of like browns and blacks and kind of dark colors. And this thing just super pops.
yeah,
Um,
I try to do that with I guess probably everything, because
mm.
I just like really vibrant colors. I think I don't know. I think of them as sort of like it's very emotional. I think when you look at something like this, you get like kind of like a dopamine rush. So
Now, what about finishing this? Like, did you use any sort of clear coat on this when you were done? Or
yeah. So I used I can't think of the name of it now. It's like the glue uh that you paint
oh,
on.
Mod Podge?
Yeah, I used that on the head except for the eyes, and I got some of the
Okay.
eyes, so I went over that with the tester's gloss that you paint on.
Okay.
I spray the tester's gloss on everything I do that's metallic.
Okay.
That's actually the only thing I use, which is great because it's really hard to find now. But because
Gotcha.
the
See, I
glue
know I
paints
know a
back
lot
up.
of metallics, if you go over it with a clear coat, sometimes it dulls it down a bit, but I noticed on
Right.
yours, it does seem like they're still very sharp. So
Yeah, use
that's cool.
gloss. I mean, that's the best gloss too. The other glosses that I've used, they get very tacky when you heat them back up to put things back together. So
Mm,
that's the reason I use that. And then I just use dull coat on everything that basically is an organic part.
gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's pull up the next one here. And I like with several of these, like you've added extra things that it's not just Legion's parts that you're using, and sometimes you're doing them to where they're modular. So I noticed like on this one here, you've got these things that sometimes they're coming out to the side, sometimes it looks like a jetpack, sometimes it looks like it's firing missiles off at somebody.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about what we get you going on in
So
here.
this is a super cool set that you can get. Josh Brown Customs is where I got it from. He
Okay.
designed that with NYC Fig Fanatic. I think that was NYC Fig Fanatic's idea. Josh printed it, and then Giant Art. I don't know if I'm actually saying that right. Gian maybe designed it.
Gianart. I think it's
Yeah,
it's Gia is the person, but yeah, that I think it's Gianart is his
yeah.
thing.
So he did that. And it's amazing because it comes with the two different colors. It comes with the missiles, but you can also do so. It goes if you put it back, it's like a jetpack.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had just started another one of these.
That's cool.
It's a lot of fun.
And then one other thing that I really liked on this, on the like the cloth, the sculpted cloth upper arms and legs, where you'd done like a black, it looks like, or even like a really dark blue, and then that other like the blue kind of dry brush on it. It has a very comic book-esque look to it. Because I know, like, back in the day, the comic books, whenever they would do like black hair or a black costume, they would always put, a little bit of blue into it to kind of show like, highlights and shadows. And I really like how that came out on this.
That's actually the idea. I really love doing things in which you have this is black. I don't remember what primer I use, but actually a lot of things I paint it for clothing is just black and then dry brushing.
Gotcha.
I kind of started off like it would be funny if this guy had jeans. I'm going to give him jeans, and then because that would be weird, right? And then I was like, well, I don't want to give him a denim shirt too. That actually would be super weird. So the blue looked weird, kind of very, very blue. So I just went back in and just kind of hand painted actually all of the I don't want to say, can't think of the word, like the things that go in the shadows or
okay, gotcha.
Recesses.
The recesses, yeah.
Yeah, which is fun. I mean, that I actually find to be just about the most relaxing thing you could do painting.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like that kind of contrast, and I do often use. I don't remember. I want to say it's a Citadel. It's a base paint that's like a very vibrant. it's like the most, well, I don't remember which one it is, but I use that a lot because it does remind me of, like you said, the hair from the old, like the comics in the 70s.
Gotcha. The black Citadel, the Chaos Black, is that what you're talking
No,
about?
the blue is it's on the tip of my tongue. It begins with a C. It's just their base, a base
Cantor,
color.
is that it?
Yes, that's it.
Cantor blue.
I think
Yeah,
that's it.
that's a good one. I also like on like the gauntlets, like when you look at it on the front picture, they look kind of bluish, almost purple, and then on the back picture, it looks almost like pink. And that's part of that color shift paints that you're using.
Yeah.
And once again, like you said, it's hard to really photograph that. I've noticed that myself in color shift paints. Like usually you're going to get one color or the other in a picture.
Yeah.
But here, because of the turn, you were able to get both. So that's awesome.
I have lights set up on either side, and then so there's lights here, and then kind of up top, and then I'm squinting with like a ring light, also taking pictures. It's terrible for my back. But that
well, we appreciate the contortion that you have to do to get us these great photos.
I've become, it's something where it's become like I have to get this exact shift, and I spend too much time trying to do it probably, but you know, that paint is Dream On, which is one of their newer paints. I love that paint. It shifts from this like almost denim blue to kind of like a magenta to basically every favorite color of mine is in that one paint.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of those Turbo Dorks, and I've used a few of them, but I haven't used them enough. Yeah, they're really nice, and I'm so on this. I'm guessing that at least most of the stuff that you're doing where it's metallic, you're probably doing via airbrush, right, and then a lot of just kind of standard painting and dry brushing for the other parts. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the torso, it's hard to see in that picture. The torso is airbrush, but then I went back in. Anything that's purple, I had gone back in and I had done that after the fact with a brush.
Gotcha. Okay.
I couldn't airbrush that well. You've had a lot of people on the show who are really great and do transitions. I really do it for base coats. I just find it to be convenient and kind of assembly line things. For large surfaces, I couldn't possibly paint any metallics because I don't know. It's not something I do well.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, you make it work because this looks phenomenal. So
thank you.
Now, okay, this one, I kind of felt like I needed to take some sort of drugs or something. Like this, I remember the first time that my wife and I watched the first Doctor Strange movie, and like you had everything like twisting and turning, and we're like, man, are we on acid or what? And that's kind of what I felt like looking at these pictures. But at the same time, they're freaking amazing. Like I love, like I sit here and look at it, and I recognize all of those heads. I recognize at least the two on the outside, I recognize the figures that they came from. I don't know about the one in the middle.
That's
Groot. Oh, it's Groot. Okay.
Groot, yeah.
And I'm sitting here looking at them like I recognize all these parts, but I guarantee that no person has ever painted these parts this same way. So yeah, this is phenomenal. I love this group of folks that you got here. Yeah.
Well, the mushroom heads, kind of was the idea, I guess. Obviously, but I mean, if you ever seen the cover for the album Disraeli Gears by Cream, and I don't think I could tell you a song on that album, but it's a super cool album cover that is most of these colors. I kind of every once in a while I try to stretch and find things outside of being influenced by just synthwave art or just comic book art and stuff, and just kind of I'll see something, old blacklight posters, stuff like that, and think, what if I try to make a figure like that? I had been trying for years to really get something to look like a blacklight poster. The one all the way on the right is very sloppy, but it's the closest I've gotten as far as getting the blacks in. It's just very difficult because if you miss a line and you try to clean it, and it just smudges the whole body. So I kind of gave up.
I think these all came out fantastic. I think the part that I like the most is the shield on this guy on the far right. It's got like this where it almost looks like splattered paint,
It is.
but I don't think is that what it was?
It is, yeah. It's
Okay. I thought
spider
maybe you
have
like did like you like sometimes I'll see people where they'll put either put some tape down and pull it off, or even like paint it with one color, paint it with a second color, and then intentionally scratch the top color so that the bottom color comes out. I was like, I wonder how he achieved this, but it looks
toothbrush.
awesome, man.
It is. Thank you. It is a toothbrush and dipped in like a gouache, and I feel like I'm also pronouncing that incorrectly, but just like a super thick paint, so it goes on very thick. And then the airbrush, ventilation system, whatever, is just filled right now with just like pink here, and like magenta there, or whatever. It's a
the
mess,
most colorful airbrush station ever.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of black in there as well, just from the overspraying.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I love the way I love splatter paint. That's another thing. Just that's like 90s clothing that when I was in 5th grade or something, I thought was really, really cool. It's not really cool to wear anymore, but that nostalgia is.
It looks like some pants that like Eddie Van Halen would wear or something.
Yes, it does look like
that. Yeah,
he's got like hammer pants, but not.
Yeah.
But
anyways, I thought these were awesome, and then the top down view I thought was really cool as well. Like just looking at kind of the different mushroom tops on these guys. So
yeah, I love the way that the sculpt is on the one on the left. I mean, that was a lot. I have another one that I did in orange. It's actually behind me somewhere. I really love painting that one. It is it's very challenging. But yeah, I love the sculpt on that.
That group body works amazingly for that one in the middle. I like that.
Yeah, I looked for things that look like plants.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have used the like Cosmic Legion gray bodies for that one, but I think this looks really good.
Well, that's what it came with.
Yeah.
There was another thing I had planned for a gray. I actually had bought that because they didn't have a picture of the head. Wolfgang didn't have a picture of the head, but I saw it was definitely a mushroom, and I was like, I'm getting that. So I really love them.
That's awesome. All right, next one. Now this is another one where he's got like these contraptions like coming off of him. Looks like it's got a couple different bracers on there that I haven't seen. And that's a unique torso as well, right?
Yeah. So the torso is a Jason Demon torso. He's got the crocodile head for it.
Okay.
And I just so like the peg comes out straight forward, and I just shaved it a little bit, and this head fit on. The bracers are from a 12-inch Batman.
Oh, okay.
That came with and then the back piece is also a Groot. It's from like a 12-inch like Titan series. There's a lot of interesting stuff that you can get when you pick up those 12-inch figures that you can kind of make work for an ogre.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing some really awesome stuff here because back in the early 2020s, maybe even before that, a lot of folks in the Mythic Legions community that was customizing, they were using a lot of fodder from other toy lines and stuff. And then the parts library just kind of blew up over the last couple of years with Figura and Cosmic and Mythic. And so now you don't see as much of that. You see a lot of just kind of mixing and matching within the Legions line and maybe some 3D parts. But the fact that you're pulling in stuff from other toy lines, I think it sets your stuff apart a little bit, because you look at it and you go, man, this really feels Legions, but there's some parts that I don't recognize.
I mean, I think that I just saw that this was on sale on Amazon. And I was like, oh, that looks like it's probably Ogre Scan. I have a thing that's a Mr. Freeze set and it didn't fit. And I was kind of frustrated because it has tubes everywhere. I was hoping it would work.
Yeah.
But I also, it's only really been about a year that I've only been doing customs of 4 Horsemen products. And only I think my first Cosmic Legion thing that I had posted was that February of last year. And I have been doing things for a while. I have like the Kitsune. That's how I started. I think in 2021, I had done about 3 of those. But it's become, it is for everybody kind of an obsession. But they make the best, I think, like a blank canvas almost to do,
for sure,
imagination.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much detail sculpted in the parts and stuff that and just the inner swappability amongst them, the modularity of the figures makes them great for this. And then I love the paint job on the head. I mean, the the offset between the like the purples and the greens. Like it feels very. I played a lot of World of Warcraft. That's where I met my wife, and this feels very Illidan from World of Warcraft with the purples and greens kind of offsetting each other. I like it a lot.
Yeah, those are my favorite colors. Just about. I think I just really like like aqua blue, and I don't even remember how I wound up using these colors, honestly.
Well, it came out great. I love it. And then like even within that color, like the green in the hair, there's definitely a couple different colors there, and you've got some like bright highlights like towards the front and stuff.
Oh. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
Yeah, I started off with it's one of the newer, I mean, it's really probably not new anymore. I want to say it's a contrast paint that's a Citadel. It's one of their very like deep greens.
Okay.
And then it's just a lot of dry brushing. I think when I dry brush, I generally will do at least 2 different colors on top of something darker. I don't know if it's always for the layers and the color. I think I really like dry brushing, and I get annoyed if some things I find, again, that's like very relaxing,
Oh yeah. So, I mean, I tell people, if you ever like know you should be painting, but you just don't feel like it, you're not motivated, just tell yourself, I'm just going to do a little dry brushing. And then, next thing you know, it's 4 hours later and you've been customizing for the last several hours.
It is the most soothing thing. It's great. Yeah. I love it.
Absolutely.
Just to see what a sculpt looks like too, especially, I mean, the 3D printed stuff. I mean, even, the reason I started years ago doing, the few I did was because the 3D printing community, I was doing mostly, like Hasbro figures. And then the stuff that comes out is just so much more whimsical, I think, that people are coming up with for this line. And then the texture you get, because people are doing fur and all that stuff, and it's the dry brushing,
yeah,
it's kind of like a big influence there.
Let's take a look at this next one. So I have no idea what's going on here, but it's awesome. This is great. So yeah, tell us. I mean, I don't know. I see the skeleton bone parts, but I have no idea where the soft goods are from or these attachments for the arm. So yeah, tell us a little bit about what this is.
So both of the attachments are from Rocket Fist Customs. That is actually his logo, the Rocket Fist. Okay. And then that is, I mean, again, I love arm cannons. I think they're really cool and also kind of absurd in a way. The soft goods are, I think I really started doing customs because I was doing Mezco stuff. So I had stuff laying around. The shirt is from a Green Goblin kit that I love magenta. I could, if this wasn't a belly shirt and the jeans weren't ripped at the knees, and there were sleeves, so there's a lot of ifs, but I mean, that shirt color and a pair of jeans is how I dress almost all the time. And those are actual sneakers of mine that are literally right here that I on Nike ID I designed, because these are my favorite colors. So this just came together. I mean, the torso is just a skeleton, and the legs I think were from Necro, both of them. I don't remember. Honestly, I got all of the skeletons at once, and I just took them apart. So that head is a Von Burke head that is extraordinary.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just love the vibe on this. Like, you see, when you look at something that's using Legion's parts, you expect it usually to have kind of a sword and sorcery vibe or like an alien vibe. But here you've got this, like, I don't know, like hipster kind of cool, like skater kid vibe with the blaster, like a futuristic skater, skeleton. Yeah. I don't know. It's just really cool.
So when he had the heads, I think at Legion's Con, it's the first time when I bought this, actually. They were in soft goods, so that's where the idea came from. And then I had some a Mezco custom that I had done that I didn't love, and I just kind of took parts of it off, and it just came together. I mean, I did not plan this. There was no point that I knew that this was going to look like this. If I did, I would think I was kind of a genius. When I was done, I was like, what did you make? I mean, I don't know who I said it to. I was like, this looks like something that was done by somebody much more talented than me because I was shocked.
I love that you
That's what
shock yourself as much as you shock everybody else. So that's cool.
yeah, I don't have any plans really ever. Things come together, but
All right. And then this guy here. Man, I really, really love this one. That is using one of the like a lifted heads from Wolf King Customs. And then clearly a tusk body. But I don't know where that gun is from. That gun's amazing. Yeah, and then the just the colors all work. It looks great.
yeah, I mean the colors shouldn't work either.
Yeah.
They shouldn't. It clashes in almost every piece. Clashes. What happened was, this is actually one of the things I'd taken apart the first set of Cosmic Legions that I made because I rip dyed them and it had sort of bled through. So I had to fix that. Which a lot of dry brushing somehow took care of it. But just through the airbrush, that was what had gotten bled over. So, and also the arms I just had to make black to work. But then I had all of these parts from different customs, like 3 or 4 different customs, and I threw them together. I don't think I had intended for the legs, I didn't intend for the thighs or the definitely not the thighs are what really stick out to really be on this. It was just there, and I just wanted to see what everything else looked like together. But the calves and the shoulder, the pauldrons, and that neck piece, and also the chest, all start with the same base color, which is Sky Rat, which is Turbo Dark paint. And then all of them have, so the legs have a paint 3D glasses over that. And then, so Sky Rat is only Sky Rat is on the torso.
So you're doing layering of the, like the metallics and color shift paints.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And you get some crazy, it's on their website. There's a guide to that. I don't mean to plug them, but it's.
Oh, really? No, that's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Their blog on their website has so many great ideas. I wouldn't have thought, what colors to layer over each other, but the pauldrons I think are all 3 layered and they look crazy in real life. They also have like a guide to dry brushing, what colors work best doing metallics. I've been doing that more lately. The metallics over the shifts really look cool. But yeah, this the gun I got, and I don't remember if it is from CB Make or if it is from
I could definitely see Brian making that.
I bought a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Brian CB Make, he does some crazy stuff, so I could definitely see that coming from him.
I was really happy to get to buy stuff from him there. I bought so many 3D printed parts. Man, I don't know what things are from. I tried.
I hear that, man. I got so many projects that I'm like, oh, this one's going right to the top of the pile. No, it's not. No, it's going in there with everything else, and it'll get done when it gets done. Right. All right. And then I pulled up these two because they were pretty wild colors. And there's one with the kitsune head, and this other one with the gun pointed right at the camera. Dude, these are just so good. I just love all of the bright, just in your face colors.
So it's funny that you chose the kitsune head one, because I think that's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever made. I think I took that apart recently because I ran out of goblin parts and I was working on something else. I did. That's the most. I thought putting that head on that almost was doing an injustice to the head. But it looks so crazy. I had to take a picture of it. But yeah, the other one, I love that head sculpt. The head sculpt's got some real crazy texture in there. That was a lot of fun to paint. And that's just, again, it's just 4D glasses, has that shift to purple. It's such a crazy combination. I think that is just one paint. It's 4D glasses on the thighs and on that body is amazing. That, the add-on thing that's on the pilot.
Yeah.
I have my window open and getting allergies.
Sorry about that.
Amazing.
Is that what this was started out as? Was the pilot, or did this start out as the what's the other one?
It's the heavy gunner, I think.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a heavy gunner.
That's cool.
It's got those, yeah.
And then what about the extra accessories, like for the kitsune and then the gun here on this guy? Like, where do you know where those come from?
The gun is from Anthonatinos' Arsenal. Right, he changed his
Okay.
name, and I always want to say, wait, Arsenal. Anthonopoulos Unlimited. His old name I still think of. Dylan, he's a great guy. I've been getting stuff from a really, really, really long time. And this is a really cool. He has actually, and I'm definitely saying his name wrong, but I use stuff from him. You can find in any custom I make. I always point out where I got things, and I use his weapons constantly. And he does stuff in Legion's scale, so you can find a weapon and he'll do it because he does stuff for McFarlane as well.
Very cool.
The Kitsune is it's a NECA. It's the Foot Soldier from Last One Foot Soldier, I think.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, a lot of NECA stuff fits shockingly well with Legion's parts.
Like just popping them in, or are you having to modify them at all or anything?
This I had to do some modifying more than I like to, but I had the legs were from a Tusk Engineer, and then I sliced off at the very, 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 very top, and then like where the thigh swivel is. There's also a similar swivel in the legs for the NECA Foot Soldier, so I took that out.
Gotcha.
And it took a lot of heat to get it deep enough to not fall out and maintain the swivel. I mean, it was a lot. I don't usually like to do that much work if I can avoid it, but I think honestly I was low on fodder at that point and waiting for a shipment of new things, but I wanted to keep working.
Now, are you assembling these after you've painted all the individual parts, or are you trying to paint a lot of the? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Awesome. And then what about like the like kind of the magic effect type thing with the Kitsune? Is that also part of that same figure, or is that something else?
That's old. The thing at the end is definitely a Marvel Legends.
Okay.
I mean, they're definitely Hasbro parts. I think actually the arm effect is from I'm sorry. The thing at the end is a Psylocke effect. That's what that is. And then the other thing going around it is from, I think, a Power Rangers figure. They have some cool effects.
I love the fact that you're just like pulling from all these different lines, but it totally works.
Fodder. It
very much works.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at the next one, dude. This thing is so killer. Like I looked at this and I was like, dude, this is the kind of thing. I think if this were on a table at Legion's Con, people would look at this and go, man, that could be custom of the year. Like it's so freaking good. Like you absolutely killed this thing.
Thank you. So that the bottom piece is a Planetary Dog Toys. I wish that they were not closing. I actually have one. I did another one of this that actually I like the colors better, but that's actually, I think that Len has that now. That's going to be at the tables. But
cool.
Yeah, this is such a fun thing to paint. It is such a cool sculpt. I mean, I love this thing. I have, like I said, I have one. I haven't started yet because I kind of don't want to get to the point where it's gone. It's not retired yet. I should get another one, but it is so much fun to paint this with the airbrush. Just kind of, because again, this is 2 layers of paints. So just kind of seeing how it, it dries and seeing how it comes together. I mean, the amount of colors you see in it, it's such a cool sculpt. I mean, you could put anything on this and it'll look amazing, I think. I just like to do cosmic stuff.
I feel like I recognize that blaster from Roboto. Is that right? From Masters of the Universe?
Yes.
Okay.
I think, yeah, that is.
And then
it's definitely from Masters of the Universe.
What's that?
I guess it's Roboto. Yeah, you're right. That's
and then what about like the staff and the headdress and stuff? Like, are those?
The staff is also masked. That's one of the Snake Men. I don't know which one. Yeah, that's a really cool staff. And then the head is also a Jason Demon head.
Gotcha. And it comes with a headdress on it, or is that separate?
Yeah. No, it comes with it. It's a crazy detailed sculpt.
Gotcha.
It's fun to do too. The feathers are really fun to dry brush.
Yeah, dude. I love this so much. This came out absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
So, let's see what we got now. I think we got 2 more. Here's another kind of using that Sphexian body. And then is this a Rumble Society Mezco head
Yeah,
that
it's
you put on here?
Gomez. That's what it
Dude,
is. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is such a great idea. I've not seen anybody do that.
That can't be true. When I did this, I posted and I was like, I know a few people have to have done this.
I've not seen one. Like, this is the first time I've seen one like this, and I think it totally works with this. I love it.
Thank you. I mean, this was the first thing I thought when I saw this Fexian, and I hate insects. I didn't buy them for a while because they really
I'm not an insect
kind of-
guy, man, but I think this looks super cool.
Yeah, this was I really enjoy painting those bodies. Actually, they are. I find that when I take the legs off and put them back on a few times, they get very wobbly. This drives me a little crazy, but that's probably my fault being impatient tugging on them. But they are really fun bodies to paint because there's just so much going on in the sculpting, so many angles, the back.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I love Gomez. He's such the expression on that head.
I wouldn't think that the
really
scale would work. Like Mezco is just a little bit smaller scale than Legions.
Yeah.
And so I would think that it wouldn't work, but it really does. Like, it really works well with this body, in my opinion.
Well, it just looks like he's got this oversized spacesuit. I kind of figured,
Yeah.
Spacesuits can be huge, I guess. I don't know. It also looks a little ridiculous, and I like it. I like having things that have, like, it's almost a little stupid. Like, what? Why did I come up with
it's ridiculous in a good way, though. It's like, it's ridiculously awesome.
Thank you.
So, and then I think the last slide that I've got is this one here, where you've kind of, I mean, come on, man. This is just cool. Like, I see that I think that's the Hawkeye vehicle, right? On the, like, in the middle. And then I don't know where this, like, hoverboard on the right comes from, and I don't know where the skis came from, but, like, you're just having a lot of fun, man. Like, I just look at this and I go, man, this guy is just enjoying toys. So yeah. Tell me a little bit about these things.
So the Sky Cycle, I had wanted to paint that for a while. It is so cool. It works very well, even at this scale. Obviously better for a goblin. That's the swig. Actually, those are both. That's in the first picture. Funnily enough, I used that as a female swig in a mask. Those are my swigs. I think that the Sky Cycle was actually in the picture as well. I didn't paint the water skis. Those are just from that. They're Fortnite. They come with the big shark.
That's totally your color scheme. So
yeah, I know.
You'd be like, oh man, this is great. I don't even have to paint these.
Yeah. I don't know. This was so ridiculous. Usually I would, do something to get the stand out of the way, but I just kind of was. I don't think I had expected to even take a picture of it. I was just kind of messing around to see what it would look like. And then for whatever reason, when I came up with his lore, I made him a bartender. So, and he's got like 2 different potion things that are also in the lore are just alcohol. So like he drinks alcohol that keeps his form, I think was it. Otherwise he goes back to, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily make sense, but he's definitely
doesn't have to, man. As long as you're having fun, it doesn't matter. So
yeah, that's the goal, right?
Yeah. And then tell us about this guy on the right.
So he has that cyber mask, but it does also look like someone you would, have when you're spray painting. I had just done the mask and the head, and I didn't even know what I was going to do with it. And it had just been off to the side. And then I went in later. I had painted this gray, different color. And then I kind of looked at it again and I was like, the blue and purple would be so good on those. These are figures I did not expect to like. I think you had said something on the show that you didn't like them at first. They're fun to dry brush. I think the sculpt is really great when you get in there.
Yeah.
And that head is so much fun to dry brush. But yeah, I looked at it and I saw the, it had, I know it's like the cyber mask, but it also just made me think of, somebody out just spray painting, in the city. So
he's a graffiti artist, huh?
Yeah, that's from the Vapor figure, and then that the skateboard it's like sort of a futuristic skateboard. So that's from like Turtles in Space, not Turtles in Space. It's from Raphael.
Yeah, it looks like it definitely looks like a futuristic hoverboard. I think it looks super awesome. So yeah, these are great, man. I think that was I think that's the last one I have, but. Dude, you're just doing some really fun stuff. I like it. Now, I do have a question for you because I've seen in your videos where like you'll you know, hand a new figure to your daughter, and she does this, you know, kind of giving her first reaction. She's kind of become kind of known in the community now for
It's
her
so
reactions
funny.
on things.
So,
So my question is, like, what does she think about the stuff that you do? Like when you do these customs and stuff, like what does she think about your stuff?
she likes it. You know, she's
Yeah.
13. So, you know, she's a 13-year-old girl. So the amount of times her dad, you know, like, hey, look at this like action figure, this toy I made, you know, but
Mhm.
I mean, she does like it. I mean, her favorite color is pink. My favorite color is magenta. So, you know, she was
Worked
at
well.
Legion's Con with me, and every time I bought something, she was like, you have to make that pink. But I mean, she was choosing color schemes. And she
Yeah.
things she picked out. I think we had never really gotten around to it, but she had picked out a bunch of things to make her own figure, but she had picked out sculpts for me. I think on the snake, that head,
Mhm.
that was at Josh Brown Customs, his booth. She said, you have to get this and make it. And I said, all right. I had the tongue sticking out, and I said, I'm going to break this tongue. And he's like, he uses really tough resin. I don't think anybody breaks this stuff but me, but I break everything. But yeah, she had picked that out. I mean, she definitely is, and she's watched this happen for years. I mean, I've been doing customs since 2021. There are those videos of her go back to her 2021. So
Yeah.
years and years and years. Just looking at GI Joes and making up weird backstories.
That's awesome. I love that you guys are having fun together. I mean, that's something that you know, I feel like over the last few years, especially, Legion's Con has gotten to a point where people are, you know, guys, it's not just a bunch of guys there, right? Like people are bringing their wives, they're bringing their kids. They, you know, we've got folks that are working together with their families, like creating together, running companies, you know, whether it's 3D parts companies or soft good companies or whatever. Yeah, it's just been really cool. So yeah, seeing you guys have fun together is awesome, and hearing that you guys got to hang out at Legion's Con, that's great.
Yeah, and we had a lot of, that was my first event at all. That was like a 4 Horsemen event. I've only really had the ability to get to 2, but I had a great time. I can't wait for this year.
That's
I couldn't believe
beautiful.
how nice everybody was. I kept saying it to people. I don't know. It might be just because I'm from Long Island and this area, and you know, lived in Brooklyn, and maybe I'm not accustomed to the rest of the country. But I mean, I'm kidding. But you know, the nicest people. I was shocked.
Yeah. I have you guys, I guess you haven't gone to intern yet. Is that correct?
No.
Yeah, I would definitely put in for that when that comes up. It should be soon. I would imagine we're going to hear an announcement here
Plan on it.
soon.
That's the way
But
I'm
yeah,
going to bribe her to come this year if I
I
get
think
it.
you and her would both love that. I mean, they do the thing where they take you on a tour of the studio. You get to watch Eric do like a sculpting session. You get to talk to the people that are actually painting this stuff and get information from them. Talk to Trevor and see about his photography. It's just a really cool event, and it just makes you even more appreciate how great just people they are. On top of being these very talented artists, right? Like they're just
Yeah.
great people.
Oh yeah, I would love to do it. And then they share a building with a Broadway studio, not a Broadway studio, but right, they do like
BB Props. It's a props
yeah.
company, and yeah, there's just some neat stuff. Like they'll show you something like, you know, this was in this particular movie, or this was on Saturday Night Live this past
Oh wow.
week, or you know, whatever.
Yeah,
This
this
one was
is
in a Broadway play right now, so yeah.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. I had this conversation with Jesse Saturday. So
Oh yeah. You were at the Lehigh.
Yeah, and
Oh,
he said
cool.
the same thing, and I said, you know, if they're the Broadway thing, and I can get, then she's kind of on the fence about going, but she will definitely go if she's like really a drama kid, so she would love that.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
That would be
I would
the
love
end.
to do that. I didn't know how it worked. I just thought people were selected.
No, there's so it used to be like early on it was like something where it would be a benefit to a Kickstarter. So like they would just sell a spot on a Kickstarter, and you paid the amount of money and you got to go. Well, then people got to realize how awesome an experience it was.
Yeah.
And so it got to be so popular that they didn't have enough spots for all the people that wanted to go. So they had to start doing a lottery. So yeah, you'll hear, you know, within the next, you know, I would say probably within the next few weeks, we should hear about the lottery. And then a bunch of people put in for it, and then they'll draw names, and everybody that they draw, you have to pay $300 to get in, but that is for you and one other person. So you and a guest, You're there all day and you get to see all the different stations and stuff. They do buy lunch and you get a little gift. The last few years, it's been a bust that you get to bring home, and you can paint it there or you can take it home and paint it. So it's just an amazing experience. So I know a lot of folks in the community, if they're not going to Legions Con with a family member or something, they'll just partner up with another person. They'll say, hey, I'll put in, you put in. If either one of us gets it, we'll take the other one as a guest, and then they kind of split the cost and stuff. But yeah, it's an amazing experience. So
yeah, I definitely would love to do that.
Beautiful. Well, I appreciate you stopping by and talking about your customs, your art today. Let the folks know where they can find you. And now it's low. There's an underscore, isn't there?
Yeah, it's low_fidelity customs. Wait, low_fidelity_customs.
Gotcha. Let me try to
not infidelity. People make that mistake often when they say it out loud.
I think they do that with retro rags. Some people go retro rags limited, retro rags unlimited. I can't remember. It's one of the two. So
yeah. Somebody a few times I've been called the low infidelity customs, and I was like, that really changes the meaning a lot. Why would I call myself that?
I'm just doing a banner real quick here. So people to have that. Awesome. So there we go. I got that right? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, check that out, folks. Does some great stuff. Just keep doing what you're doing. I love the fact that you talked to Jesse and those folks this weekend, and anything. Yeah. If you can hook up with Len and display some of your stuff or whatever, that'd be awesome.
He's got a bunch of it. Yeah. He has it now.
Oh, that's cool.
He asked me, he said, what do I have to do to get some of your stuff? And I was like, you don't have to do anything. Because I've been buying stuff for them for such a long time. I mean, that's kind of how I started doing this, like 2021. So it was crazy to be asked, having been somebody who really didn't know how to paint back then and was buying stuff. So
yeah, I mean, Len's not a dumb guy. Like he sees, if there's some folks in the community that are doing really cool, unique stuff with his prints, like he definitely wants to promote that, because and then he's able to show like, hey, yeah, you can paint that one part that we put out this way, and a bunch of people do. But what if you did it this way? What if you did this really awesome, cool, bright colors? So, I mean, it helps him to sell more of those. But it's also just who he is. Like he's always been one to help, just kind of prop up artists in the community and show them off. And that's why I love the guy. So
yeah, I see that. Interacting with him, he's incredibly, incredibly nice guy. Very genuine.
Yeah.
If you have to say something before I forget. When I was watching the videos with my daughter, she was like, oh, that's the guy from Legions Con. And I was like, well, we saw a lot of people, and she had to remember your face.
All right. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Well, tell her I said hi. Love the stuff that you guys are doing. Love her reactions. I love the bright colors and stuff that you're doing. Now, are you obviously you're going to be going to Legions Con this year. Are you going to have anything on tables?
I don't have a plan to do that unless somebody wants to put me at their table.
Okay.
I would do it. I need to start selling figures because I've run out of display space. I'm kind of trying to get a bunch of things together and try to figure out to maybe I either wait until then or in the cabal just post something. But
well, there you go, folks. Anybody watching this, if you got some extra space on your table and you're looking for a table mate, you may have found one right here, because this guy's doing some great stuff. So and definitely bring some folks to your table. So awesome. Well, hey man, I appreciate your time. I'm going to go ahead and put you in the back room and close out the show. If you've got to run, I totally understand, but if not, just hang out and I'll be with you in just a second.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Well, folks, that was another episode of How'd They Do That. Man, he's doing some really great stuff. So, just remember, I know we talked about this when I did the Derek Stringer one, but airbrush isn't the devil. It can do some cool stuff for you. And those Turbo Dork paints, I'm gonna have to check out that website that he's talking about. Said that they got a bunch of different color patterns and things on there that you can use. I'm gonna have to check that out because that sounds really cool. There's just a lot of things to test around and play around with. So you just gotta mess with some stuff and see what comes out. Like he said, sometimes you'll have stuff that isn't even meant to go together, and you put it together and you're like, man, that works. So So keep trying, keep just, playing around, having fun with your toys. And until next time, folks, keep creating. Thanks. We'll see ya.